What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about all the enhancements on the 2024 BombMoto, and personally I think all of these made a huge difference in the new model, and I mean, it's so much more comfortable. Well, we'll get into all that here in just a second. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to be posting all sorts of BombMoto content here shortly. Next video up, show you all the goodies that I bought for this thing, the controller that's going into it. Man, this thing's going to be an awesome build, and I can't wait to show you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Apologies for the lighting. The weather's been pretty crazy out here lately. We're getting some crazy wind, tornado warning, so garage door is shut, unfortunately. I don't need half the neighborhood blowing in here, so try to do the best I can to show you everything up close. So let's get right into it, and the first thing I want to talk about, which is one of the biggest improvements made on this, is going to be the drop pegs. Now if you look right there, the old model, the pegs were right on the bar right here. Now these are actually dropped down about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and then if we look down at the bottom here, you can see they are supported with this bar. So, you know, I see a lot of guys grabbing those drop down brackets off of eBay, Amazon, and you know, the first couple of big jumps, those things snap, legs are getting cut, and it's just a whole bad deal. So these things are going to be nice and solid. They're going to drastically improve the ride feel of your B1. So right next to it, since we are here, the pegs are actually forged now. They're so much heavier compared to the old ones, and they're actually longer. So here I have the old style, and if we put it up into place, now you can see, you can really tell how much thicker these ones are. A lot heavier and a little bit longer. Width wise, they are the same width, but as you can see, just a whole lot longer. Hold your feet a lot better, much more comfortable. You know, that combined with being lowered is a really good ride feel. Next thing up, since we are talking about the ergonomics of the bike and how you actually sit and feel on this thing, we're going to be talking about the braking system. So these brakes are actually a huge improvement from the last ones. The last ones were very stiff, didn't stop very well, and you know, a lot of us wanted these to be changed out when we got our first model, and of course BombMoto was listening to us, and they did a hell of a job. So these ones, they're actually a little bit more kid friendly, or you know, if you have smaller hands, so they're a lot closer to the handlebars, making it easy to grip, where the other ones were kind of straight out. They were very stiff and hard to pull, where these ones are nice and soft, feel really good. Now obviously I have not rode this bike yet. Obviously I got to put a controller and a battery in it, so we will see how well these actually stop this time. I'm very excited for that because I'm a huge wheelie kind of guy, and I love having that nice modular feel, but being able to slam that brake and stop it if I'm about to loop. So both sides feel really good. We'll go down and show you the calipers here in a second. The next thing I wanted to show you was the brake sensor. So we actually have a little bit of an updated brake sensor. It's really nice. And then they come pre-wired. They got a little connector on the other side, and it is a solid mounted wire. So the other ones were little blade pins that you pressed in. They fall out very easy. So another huge improvement, you know, if you decide to run brake lights or a motor cutoff, something like that. Another thing about the front brake is we actually have extra line here. So it's a huge improvement from the last ones. A lot of us taller guys, we wanted to switch to taller bars, and we were running out of line and weren't able to fit them without them pretty much stretching completely straight. So again, we'll be able to throw on some taller bars. Don't look over there. Now getting to the calipers themselves. We got some 2 pistons right here. I believe the internals are a little bit different on the front. Otherwise, I believe they're about the same size. Here we have the new rear brake compared to last year's stock brake. Right off the bat, Kind of hard to tell, but you can see we're going to have a larger piston, so it's going to have a lot more clamping force. And then follow the brake line itself. We actually have two little brake line holders that are actually screwed into the swing arm this time. Now the last one only had one, and it was kind of just a clip style, so it just kind of clipped in there and they snapped off real easy. So this is going to make a huge improvement, keeping the brake line nice and tight in there. Yeah guys, I'm excited to get the motor and controller in here and see how well these things rip. As far as the rotors and the wheels, everything is going to be the same, as well as the sprocket and chain, so no changes there, same tires. And next up, we are going to be talking about this swing arm shock bracket right here. It is actually a whole lot thicker, heavier duty, so you won't have to worry about this thing shearing off on you. I mean, it is beefy compared to last year's. We have a new axle slider right here, so a nice thick piece of axle slider. Then we have a welded nut, the retaining nut, and the bolt right here, so it should make keeping this axle nice and straight. Another thing I should have mentioned while I was doing the brakes is this brake setup actually sits closer to the rotor now, changing the axle spacers right here. So this back wheel is actually sitting a lot more centered, and as you can see, we actually have a lot more room in between the tire and the chain, so fitting a 100 wide should be not a problem, and you won't need to use the axles, or excuse me, the hub spacer that I was using. So again, another huge improvement. You know, we're not having to buy a bunch of little pieces here and there to accommodate for a street tire, a wide one specifically. So another cool option, or another cool feature. Now we'll move our way back up to the front and we'll check out the same style forks, but these are a stiffer fork for this year. Instead of the red cap, you're gonna have this nice silver one. Really blends in with the bike really good, so I like that, enjoy that a lot. We're going to have taller bar risers as well, give you a little bit more height on them. But the big thing here is we're now going to have forged triple clamps, which is going to be a nice safety improvement as well. That way you don't have to worry about these snapping on you, especially hauling butt on these things. That is going to do it for everything on the outside of the bike. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and remove the plastics for you, and then we'll see some improvements that are actually on the inside of the bike where you can't really see. So let me go ahead and take those off real quick. Plastics are off. Now we can get inside of the bike and get a good look at what else is improved here. So a new enhancement on the BombMoto is these side cover tabs, the top of the plastic tabs. All of these right here are thicker and allow for more thread, so they're not going to strip out as easy as last year's. We have our rear shock. Now this is going to be a updated shock. It is 600-pound rated nitrogen. Of course, we retain the rebound on this. If you guys haven't seen my shorts, there's actually a set screw on the preload collar that you have to loosen up first before you do that. This will also include a tool to help adjust that preload as well. Can't miss it, bright orange right here. We have our new phase wires. Now these are going to be thicker this year, handle up to all those phase amps we are throwing at them, and we are going to have the waterproof hall sensor plug as well. So that's going to be a great improvement. Hopefully help deal with a little bit of that heat, because I know we're pushing these things like crazy. On the website, we will soon have a number 35 sprocket upgrade. That way we can get rid of this T8F chain. I know this chain is not very popular, but this does include an extra T8F chain for all you harder riders who are snapping chains like crazy. But if you keep it, just lube it up every day. Use your spare chain if you need to. And then down here, we have an improved roller. So this thing is actually tapered where the last one was flat, and it's gonna help keep this nice and centered as it's coming through. The chain guide is going to be the same, but up here we actually have a different chain slider. Now this is going to be a nice thicker plastic, nice and hard. That way it's not going to chainsaw through like it was last year. These were getting eaten through pretty quick, so this one should hold up nice and tough. Back over to our battery tray. We're actually going to get a flat tray now instead of the one that came out, dipped down, and then, you know, it didn't work out very well with the B1 battery. So now we got this nice one, nice and flat. Of course, it's going to come with your battery straps. That way you can strap your battery down. And it also comes slotted on the sides right here. You can see on the back there as well. And there are extra straps that come in your little box, so you can actually strap these around horizontal as well. I guess horizontal side to side, you know what I mean. So coming to the top, we have this bracket that holds our little bar for the tailpiece and the seat, where the seat bolts down right here. This year it's going to be gusseted, so you're going to have plenty of strength here, where the last one did not have this gusset. And with the weight of this and us bigger riders sitting more back on the tail, this was bending very easy, so this should help prevent that. But yeah guys, I think that about covers it. It's really cool to see BombMoto out in the community. You know, they're out there listening and watching us, and for them to come out and make all these improvements, you know, to keep us happy, to keep us riding well. I myself appreciate the hell out of them, and I want to say big shout out to BombMoto for being a part of the community and backing us like you do. I think that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. You know, if you got a buddy who has one, or you're really on the fence about getting one, I promise you do it. The way it feels, the amount of power the stock motor that it comes with makes, I mean, this is just an incredible bike. Out of everything that's out there, this is the closest thing to a real pit bike that you can get to, and it's not over yet. I mean, like I said, the parts store is coming out. We got a 12-inch front wheel. I believe that is out available today. We have a number 35 chain setup coming. I mean, they're really doing it for us. So again, shout out to BombMoto. Shout out to you guys for hitting that subscribe button, for watching. I appreciate you guys, and let's get to building this thing soon. Later.